Kathy, you are not on camera. I don't know.
You trade places.
No, no, we just, did that help?
I'm- Okay. All right. So yep, we can go ahead.
Okay, so we call the finance committee for the land bank session at 4:14 on October 1st, I believe. And we've got copies of the proposed budget in front of us. Mr. Paterni, who was the third member of the committee, is not able to attend. So Kathy, Rooney, and I are the two members of the committee. And we have in front of us the proposed budget. And we can start with explanations. Do you want to do anything? Or we can ask questions first. Which would you prefer to do, Kristen?
Why don't I walk through and see?
If you can handle the questions that we might have.
Yes, wouldn't that be ideal? Okay, so for I guess I'll start with, are there any questions on the 2025 projected? Do we all, from watching where we've been this year, see kind of how we got to the projected? Okay, so then walking through the 2026 budget, you'll notice significant differences year over year in other operating expenses, gains on property sales, also on state subsidies and grants, and then in some of our professional services. And I just want to point out that all of those are related to the Move in New York, the anticipation of Move in New York funding. And consistently through all of those, we're looking at completing 6 projects over the next year. And so the significant increase is related to those funds, which, so that's the main difference there.
And that's anticipating that we receive a contract from the state. Am I correct?
Yes.
So we were approving in the regular meeting, we're approving the application for that.
Yes, in the regular meeting of the board, we're going through that. And so this budget assumes that we will produce 6 cross mods, 3 in the city of Amsterdam, 3 in the city of Schenectady. And this sort of nets out the realtor commissions, closing costs, things like that.
Do we have an idea? When is the application due?
The applications begin being accepted November 15th, and they will be open until the end of January or until funds are
Okay, so
allocated.
we won't know until sometime in February or March whether we actually have anything on that.
Yes, I think
Okay.
the decision, I think it'll turn around pretty quickly, but yeah, it'll be beginning of
And that's part of the
26.
$50 million that the governor's proposing, the legislature's approved. You might want to put a note in the budget at the bottom and say that this budget is anticipating those funds. And that if we're not given the grant, with loan, whatever it's going to be, that there will have to be a revision and significant changes in the budget.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. So our bookkeeping expenses, those have already, we did an RFP for 3 years. So those are actual known expenses there. Our legal fees, again, we're anticipating about 20,000, which is fairly consistent. And then professional services, you'll notice, does jump up to 50,000. This is related to our land bank initiative, again, pending funding for the next round of land bank property services. And this would be to collaborate with one of our housing partners and support a rehab specialist that would help us to develop scopes of work and verify performance of those projects. And so that $50,000 allocation is related to and reflected in the increase in state subsidy and then also in the increased expense.
And that would be an expense that we would have. We would be hiring somebody, not as a staff member, but as a contract.
We would contract the as a professional service, yes.
That was one of the questions that I had. Anything else?
And then the other place where there's a pretty significant jump is in that renovation and construction budget. And again, this is related to constructing 6 additional cross mods.
Okay. Kathy, do you have any questions?
I don't.
The questions that I have as we start from the top in the revenues, the significant drop in proposed income for the charge for services.
Yes, so that is a
Yeah, right. You get older, you can't hear like me.
excuse me.
Mhm.
So that is a percentage on my anticipated demolition projects that we would perform on behalf of the city of Amsterdam or city of, Schenectady or any of the municipalities that we're working with. And so I'm only carrying over things that I feel relatively certain about.
Makes sense.
Okay. And the other operating revenue, is that also related to what we talked about before, the math from 190,000 to 481,000?
Yes, so those are proceeds from 6 cross mods, assuming the sale of 6 cross mod homes in the cities of Amsterdam and Schenectady.
Okay. And the last one that I've got a question on is on the expenses, on the other non-operating expenses, the drop in half from 10,400 to 5,000.
Again, this was sort of just carrying forward things that I was sure about, and so those are kind of known and consistent expenses, whereas the variations from those year over year were inconsistent. So
Since we have no other questions, do we have a motion to approve?
Yes, we have a motion. You make a motion?
If we have missing our third member, I'll second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So the budget is now will be forwarded to the board at its meeting in about 10 minutes. And we are adjourned. So the
For
board
21
meeting
p.m.?